first read. We've read it one time. What we're going to do now is I'm going to have you listen to the poem and follow along to it for read number 2. There is actually a YouTube video that reads the poem to you, and a good way to become a fluent reader, to become a smooth reader, is to hear something being read to you. So if you could have your poems out and be following along as you listen to this poem read to you, this will be read number. So Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening from Robert Frost.
Stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sound's the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. And miles to go before I sleep.
It's pretty short.
No, but it's not
Serious, that is. I'm wondering, you've read it 2 times now. Did any of you felt like it made more sense after you heard the poem when someone read it to you? I know I did this last night. I read it to myself and I thought, I think I'm beginning to understand it, but then I heard someone read it to me and I thought, this makes much more sense. So we've read it 2 times. I noticed, and I think what you are telling me is you're noticing some patterns in the poem. Raise your hand if you have noticed a pattern in this poem. You've circled words, you've highlighted words, you noticed some sort of pattern going on here. Can someone explain to me the pattern that they noticed? Nadia, what did you notice? Okay. Then I noticed lake, shake, mistake, flake, sweep, deep, heat, sleep, sleep. Oh my gosh. Rhyming, right? Very clear, this is a rhyming poem. I do have a question for you though. I noticed, just like the Halloween poem was a repeating poem, is this poem a repeating poem? Buck. There is one repeat. Who can tell me where that repeat is at? Jalen.
At the bottom.
What's, oh, here we go. Stanza. What stanza is that repeating one? Bella? Stanza 4. So here's stanza 1, stanza 2, stanza 3, stanza 4. It's right down here, right at the bottom. The end, and last 2 lines, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. I'm wondering what that means. Anybody have an idea? This is another inferencing question. What could that mean? And miles to go before I sleep? Megan, what do you think?
There's a long way before I
There's a long way to go before I get a break. There's a long way to get home, to travel. I have a job to do before I get to sleep. Faith. Did anybody else pick up on that clue? Just like in Halloween, why did the author choose to repeat, it must be Halloween, it must be Halloween, it must be Halloween? Get her?
Because he wanted to tell us that was the main sentence.
He wanted to tell us that was important. The author wants you to understand something really important here at the bottom. Is the job done?
No.
No, I know it's not done because he has miles to go before he gets to sleep. Okay. We're going to tackle some of those questions now. On your desk, you have some questions. Very, very similar to, actually, the exact same questions as the ones that I showed you here. We are going to do number 1 and number 2 together. You will do the rest on your own. Can you line up your papers on your desk? That way it's easy for you to go back and forth. You'll need a pencil right now. The first question we're going to answer together is, who is the narrator? And this is where we can brainstorm together. Who do you think the narrator of this poem is? Who is telling the story? I'd love to hear from a couple of kids. Let's see. Ava B., who do you think is telling the story? You think the author? And who is the author? That's my next question. Who is the author of this poem? Who haven't heard from? Enrico?
Robert.
We think Robert Frost is the narrator.
Yeah.
What made you think that? I'm going to go skip down to number 2 before I even write. What made you think that? Buck, what made you think that?
Because it said I and there's only one person.
It said I and there's only one person in the story. Okay, so who is the narrator? In a complete sentence, we cross off who is, and then we write the narrator. Is Robert Frost. And what made me think this? Buck got us started on this. He said the poem used the word I, and there was only one character in the story. Agree? Thumbs up for agree, thumbs down for disagree. I only noticed one character. Did you? Okay. What makes you think this? We could say there was only one character. Why don't you give me a thumbs up when you have that part? Now, third graders, I'm going to give you a job. This job is only going to take us about, 10 minutes tops. I'd like you to answer the rest of the questions on that page by yourself. These are the same questions that I showed you on the screen. If you have any questions, raise your hand and we will walk around to help you. You do not have to do the back side.
It's not even the backside.
You want their answers in sentence form?
I would like their answers in sentence form, yes.
Yes, please.
In stanza 1, where is the narrator? So show me, where's stanza 1? Yep, so we're just focusing on that part of the poem. Where do you think the narrator is right there?
Well, let's reread this part.
One, two, three, 4.
Whose words?
Those are Roman numerals. Yep,